NASA, America's most expensive way of collecting rocks. If you wanted to be an astronaut when you were a little kid, first of all, congratulations on being basic. And secondly, this may be your big chance.
You want to be an astronaut? Well, you better know how to swim.
NASA is looking for a new crop of cadets willing to take the plunge in hopes of reaching outer space.
The odds of being selected are pretty low. NASA only needs about 20 trainees for the next class. Officials say degrees in math, science, and engineering are required, and you have to have a master's degree.
So if you think you've got what it takes to survive not just the neutral buoyancy pool, but an actual mission in space, well, the next astronaut class opens up on Monday. Apply then.
Why are we laughing? Thank God this guy is covering NASA and not a tornado. Everyone here is now homeless or dead. But yes, NASA is looking for new astronauts, but you can only apply if you have a master's degree and are in peak physical condition. Basically, you have to be an athletic nerd, which doesn't exist. You gotta be like Neil deGrasse Mike Tyson. That's what you gotta be. Yeah, it's time to discuss supernovas. I'm joking, Mike. Now, I'll be honest, I think NASA's standards are too high. Like, you shouldn't need a master's degree to go to space. You just need two things. One, you need to know how to walk in slow motion. And two, you need courage. That's all you need. You know who NASA should hire? Those people who buy sushi at 7-Eleven. That's what you need in space. I see you aren't afraid of taking risks. You wanna fly to Pluto? All right, in other news, remember the massive admission scandal that rocked American colleges last year? Well, yesterday, one big parent got the biggest sentence yet.
This morning, the heiress to the Hot Pocket snack food fortune is heading to prison after a judge handed down the harshest sentence yet in the college admission scandal.
Hot Pockets!
She understands the harm that her choices caused. She understands the impact that those choices had on students.
Michelle Janevs sentenced to 5 months behind bars after pleading guilty to paying bribes to get her 2 daughters admitted to elite universities.
That's right. The Hot Pockets heiress was sentenced to 5 months in prison. Although after 2.5 months, they'll take her out, flip her over, and then put her back in. By the way, can we admit, Hot Pockets heiress is a very weird phrase that is somehow both trashy and extremely upper class at the same time. You know, it's like introducing the Archduchess of scratch-off lottery tickets. Now, some people will be like, oh, 5 months doesn't seem like a long time in prison, but it really is, especially if you're a rich white woman. I mean, for them, that's basically life. Think about it. By the time you get out, your book club has moved on to a totally new book. If you go to prison in August, you'll completely miss pumpkin spice season. And worst of all, your kids will have completely forgotten who you are. Yeah. You'll be back like, it's me, your mom, the woman the nanny gives you to on the weekends, remember? But on the other hand, she might come out of prison with all new ideas for fillings for Hot Pockets, you know? Yeah, she'll be back in the boardroom like, all right, guys, forget that ham and cheese shit. We're doing toilet wine and cigarettes. Come on. I'm gonna put a shiv inside each one, so if anyone steps to Aunt Becky, they can catch a fade. And finally, for all those ladies out there who are sick and tired of how expensive tampons are, you might want to consider moving to the Highlands.
In Scotland, Parliament has just approved plans to make sanitary products freely available to all women.
Yeah, it's the first nation in the world to do this. Now, the law would make tampons and sanitary pads available at designated public places, places like youth clubs and pharmacies. In 2018, Scotland became the first country in the world to provide free sanitary products in schools, colleges, and universities.
Yes, congratulations, Scotland, on being the first country to make sanitary products free to all the women who need it. Yeah, I think it should be like this everywhere, you know? It really should. Because if you think about it, it's crazy that half the population has to pay so much for a natural process in their body. I mean, imagine if there was like a tax on boners. Yeah, I would have been bankrupt by the time I was 13. Part of me wonders if this law was passed by mistake. You know, maybe someone in Scottish Parliament was just like, we need to fix our bloody problems. And someone's like, aye, right, free tampons for everyone.